What has got to go wrong in a grown man's life for him to be wearing a bandana on his head in a non-satirical way?
I don't know, but it's led them down a path where they can no longer come back from, in my opinion.
There is no return.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Think Short podcast.
Welcome back, guys. I'm joined here with my co-host, Mr. Aaron Forrest, otherwise known as AFC. How are you, mate?
All good. We are ticking over nicely.
What is new since our last pod?
Well, we recorded it 5 minutes ago, so not a lot. Things I didn't mention was that I cut myself shaving this morning nicely. It was a brand new shaver. Felt like it was almost headed for the jugular, but negated that near-death experience nicely. But yeah, full steam ahead for comp prep at the moment with my own training.
How far out are you?
4 weeks, I believe. So 2 more hard weeks of training, and then the taper begins. And yeah, these 2 weeks are hard, very hard.
Yeah, eating shit most days, probably.
Yeah, there's a lot of unsuccessful sessions sometimes. Well, you feel as though that's the way, like things you can't always finish, and it's like that level of fatigue is there, and you're just battling it. So it's not always like hugely positive when you're walking out of the gym. But kind of understanding that's part of the process is part of it as well.
Yeah, I guess when you're prepping for a comp, if you don't dip your toe in and know what that's going to feel like, then on comp day you're going to get punched in the face, aren't you?
Exactly that, yeah. And we've even got scheduled a little comp simulation as well. So 4 workouts, I think across 2 days. 4 workouts on one day, 3 workouts on another day. So I think it's going to be a nice taster and a nice way to wrap up this bit of peaking intensity as well.
Yeah, good. Can't wait till you navigate your way through the bandanas for that.
Yeah, could be a difficult one.
Yeah. So training stimulus is high at the minute. It's going to lead us quite nicely into one of the things we're talking about today. But we're going to touch on some key pillars, more so for life of people that want to live, I guess, a more optimal lifestyle. Optimal, good word. I got 4 written here that we probably agree on. In no specific order, but I think this order does make quite a lot of sense. Mindset, nutrition, training, and recovery. We're going to go on a little bit of a tangent about each of those. In terms of an order, where would you put those?
So the pillars, just to recap: training, mindset, recovery,
and nutrition.
And we're talking about the general population that just want to be slightly more optimal.
You can use it, yeah, Gen Pop, that are chasing goals as well, though.
Yeah.
Whether that's like some clients that are more CrossFit biased for you.
Yeah. I think training is not something to be overlooked, although you can be probably a bit more broad with how you approach your training than a lot of people realise. There's also a lot of time wasted, junk volume things, which if you just change the way you were performing them, you could get a lot more out of them. And then I think the impact of doing that, and it's how that relates to some of those other things, it's going to have a knock-on effect. For example, although you can't out-train a bad diet, everyone knows that, you can certainly do a very good job of offsetting one. Likewise, if your training is exposing you to various different things which you need to fight to progress your way through, your mindset is going to be challenged in a way which is semi-automatically going to push you through some slightly harder situations to give you that exposure to doing hard things with your mindset. Likewise with your recovery, if you're smart with your training, you can optimize your recovery. So yeah, I think the knock-on effect puts training up there for me.
Oh, nice. What do you think out of those 4 is the most overlooked?
I think whether it's the most overlooked or not, what springs to mind is mindset in how you approach different things, and how just a workout on its own might be hard and challenging for your mindset, but the totality of your training that might be leading to a goal, or might be just leading to like a lifestyle change, how your mindset has to be applied for all of that rather than just the one thing. And very often the way you apply your mindset to the whole thing is more important than just the one workout. So yeah, kind of within mindset you've got the discipline, and I always think discipline is overlooked in the sense that you need to be disciplined of how you organize your time, how you're approaching your warm-up sets, how you're setting up the room, how you're like making sure you're not being lazy between certain movements or exercise you're doing as part of your session. Like there's so many knock-on things and like tangents that you can go down with something like discipline, that I feel like we kind of just say discipline is just making sure you go to the gym or making sure you do your hard workouts, but it also might be making sure that you pay attention to your recovery, so you pull back on certain workouts.
You can go to the gym every day and still be a bag of shit.
Yeah.
Because like you move badly, you don't warm up properly, you have no intent behind what you're doing, your rest periods are different on every movement you do, you don't know what you did in your previous session. It's like, yeah, you're disciplined going to the gym every day, but are you progressing?
Yeah, are you disciplined enough to be like super critical with how you are, like how you're applying yourself to like the technical cues that you know you should be paying attention to, or your coach told you to be paying attention to? And yeah, I think that falls into so many different scenarios. That's probably what I would say is incredibly overlooked when you look at the subcategory of mindset. Then with the other things,
I mean, that mindset goes into like your recovery, and it goes into your nutrition as well.
Yeah,
like massively.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, if your nutrition is completely up the chute, then you know you're working against yourself from minute one. Likewise, if you're trying to overcomplicate it and follow fads and try to just be at the forefront of trends and eat off a chopping board all the time, you're probably going to run into issues there as well, especially if you're trying to push yourself to an intense training goal or achieve something significant.
Yeah, following like when you said fad, then a really funny thing came into my head. So obviously we know we're in an era of OnlyFans.
Yeah,
I saw a thing on Instagram. It was like, your mum just used to sell Avon. Back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day, your mum sold Avon. Now she's on
one of the I think it might have been on like Scottish Patter or something. One of the insults was your dad sells Avon.
Oh yeah, so good. Arbonne used to be a bad one. I remember when I was at the end of school and moving into college, like all the girls were selling Arbonne, and like in the summer, they had this thing called fizzy tea.
Right.
It was so funny, and in the summer they'd always be like in a bikini, making the drink on the thing.
Right.
I remember I got Hats to do like a spoof of it once. And I remember, I think I was on Twitter back in the day when it used to be Twitter, and in the winter I was like, where have all the tits selling Arbonne gone?
What is Arbonne? I don't actually.
It's like a supplement kind of brand, but a pyramid scheme.
Right, like Herbalife or something.
Yeah, same thing. So they'd buy the product,
yeah,
and then sell
Other
it to you.
herbal drinks are available, by the way.
Yeah, and then they would try and get like people to buy it, and then if they got like however many, I remember, because this is so funny. It's a bit of a tangent, but if they made like a certain amount of sales in the month, they got like a Mercedes or a BMW.
Oh yeah.
But then they get tied into a contract, and then as soon as their like income went down from not making sales, they would have to pay the rest of, because it wouldn't cover obviously like the monthly cost. And I remember one girl got in a right pickle with it. I was like, that serves you right, because you have a shit mindset.
That's the early days of the influencer, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
The birthplace.
The birthplace.
The Jerusalem of influencers.
You've ruined our lives.
miss Herbalife.
Yeah, still lingering around, I think.
Is it?
Here and there. Saw CR7 on the front of an ad for that.
It must be good.
It must be good. He has it. Have you seen his rig?
He also does claim to do like 1,000 sit-ups a day or something.
Yeah.
Nice.
He has a chef living in his house.
Yeah.
Where were we? Overlooked, weren't we? We're on, mindset. I think it's very true. That's why I kind of have it at the top of my list, because if that's not in place, no matter what you do, like in your workplace, if your mindset is poor, you don't set standards for you and the team, you're at a disadvantage in my opinion. When you train, like you said, how you warm up, how you prepare for that session nutritionally. Recovery I had at the bottom, just because you can't recover unless you train, so to speak.
We see a lot of that out here,
stimulus.
don't we?
Yeah.
See people paying and committing to recovery. Oh, I've got to do my recovery. It's like, you haven't done any training yet. Like, nothing meaningful.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about recovery and what that looks like for you.
Something I've spoken about on social media a bit before as well. It's like taking away before you start adding protocol, before you start adding things which are popular. Saunas and ice baths are, they have their benefits individually, but they're also a stressor on the body. And unless you're willing to reel back first, or you're in a position where you can go and perform a recovery protocol and actually recover from that as well, you're just adding more fuel to the fire sometimes. And again, another thing we see people out here doing is, because saunas and ice baths are relatively readily available, they feel as though they need to jump straight in them after performing a workout. It's like, that might be the case at a competition, a fitness competition, whether it's not high rocks because you do it once and you're done, but a CrossFit competition where you've got multiple events, or like a football or rugby tournament where you've got multiple performances that you need to do, and you're just trying to get through to be feeling better, reduce a bit of inflammation for that next performance. You're not worried about the training adaptations which you're trying to stimulate, whereas when you are training, that is the focus. You're trying to create meaningful change in your body, and then you're going away from your stressor, where in an ideal world everything else is going to be not a stressor, to complement that parasympathetic nervous system to start its process. You're jumping in an ice bath and potentially doing rounds of sauna and ice. It's like, for fuck's sake, pull back a bit, allow yourself to recover by literally doing as little as possible before you start adding other things. And for me, I do quite like sauna and ice. Occasionally, if I'm going to do it on a day where I'm training, it will be in the morning. That's not very often. And then sometimes on a rest day, or a day where I've got very, very, very low intensity or low volume training, for that exact reason, because I absolutely feel the difference.
I think the more up-to-date research is showing that rest days, when you're not going through any kind of stimulus in the gym, is probably the more beneficial time to do it. Or like a post upper body day. So normally your upper limbs are not fully submerged, are they? Arms are out. But I think there's quite a lot of research to show that straight in after a lower body is has more adverse effect than benefits.
Yeah, like negatively impacting that hypertrophy stimulus or that strength stimulus that you're trying to stimulate, which makes sense, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. What about vibrators? Any good?
Vibrators, yeah, really good. What about massage guns?
Yeah.
No, again, something that if it makes you feel better, fire away. Pardon the pun, but again, probably not something that's going to create any real meaningful change. Just like if you want to waste an hour sitting on something like that. Same with foam rolling. If it makes you feel better, then I'm all for it. But like, understand that the meaningful change is probably not left in there.
And I think if used in the right context, right? Because most people use the massage gun or the foam roller when at the point it's kind of too late. So they have a lot more work to undo first through better movement quality, stretching, mobility, like strengthening the end range and stuff. which is just training, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, if used consistently, then you probably get a better or a more positive impact or benefit from that, rather than being like, can't straighten my leg, I need to use a foam roller now.
Yeah, that's right. It's another thing that people sometimes use as their personality too, to kind of perch on the foam roller and not really do too much before getting into a class or whatever. But
that time wasted on that foam roller could be used probably in a much better capacity.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, in terms of other recovery tools, sleep has probably got to be mentioned before moving on, I think, which I was actually just saying to you before. I've actually been having a few days of really bad sleep, and notoriously I'm probably not the best sleeper. For me, it's like the first thing to go. If something is slightly awry in my kind of recovery or day-to-day kind of training or protocol. So it's been interesting figuring out what I need to get back on track to address that. But I was just waking up at like 3:30 a.m, 4 a.m, needing to piss, and having just this sense of like being completely bolt upright awake, and I'd be like that for about 2 hours, and then just be getting back to sleep again, and my alarm would go off, which is arguably one of the most frustrating things. And most recently I had it for like 3 or 4 days on the bounce, and you're like, I'm so tired, I'm gonna sleep through tonight. And it's another day, it's not just a night, it's another day where you're like, for fuck's sake, like let me just recover. How are you with your sleep now?
Actually a lot better, but I'm the same as you. I don't sleep loads, but I've did some functional blood work and stuff, didn't I? And my inflammation's pretty bad, and kind of chronic fatigue, trying to get a handle on that. So I'm trying to sleep for longer if possible. On the flip side to your poor sleep hygiene, your partner has incredibly good sleep hygiene.
Yeah, and I don't I just don't understand it. She can just switch off and have the most restful night's sleep. I'll wake up like some sort of like Frankenstein's monster, like smoke and steam coming from either side of me, having tossed and turned for the last 2 hours. She's like, "Oh, I slept so well." That's exactly what she sounds like.
That's a great Canadian impression. If there's any Canadian viewers, do not take that the wrong way. But yeah, sleep would probably be the biggest bolt of that recovery system, so to speak.
It's not always practical either for people working long hours, full-time jobs. Sometimes that can almost work in your favour if you're super busy, where you have to get up and be gone by 5:30 some mornings, because that sleep deficit that you build up sometimes complements a better quality sleep, because your body's actually trying to make everything up. But yeah, sometimes you can end up in a place where you're always depleted and never recovering.
A good thing on that is some people are used to pretty like minimal sleep. I mean, every job I've had, even now I still wake up early, because we start early, but in my jobs before I was like a 4 a.m, 4:30, traveling down and working early, wherever it might be. But that then goes into like your mindset as well. Like you might sleep poorly, but training's still going to be nailed in that day. Do you know what I mean? I have a note here. It's like mindset, then dash question. Are you a P-heart? Question mark. Do you know what I mean? Some people have that poor sleep and that's it. They'll write everything off for that day.
Yeah.
So this is where they all kind of merge in together, which is really important. I think plenty of people that I'm probably referring to.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you got to kind of catch yourself. It's like having the there goes my phone. You got to have the awareness to kind of catch yourself when you start feeling like that, because I feel like that. Like, when I've not slept particularly well and I need to train or something, and like you just have to kind of catch yourself and repeat something to yourself which is going to work. For me, it's like in my own head, I always say to myself, what are you going to do, cry about it? And it's like, okay, that's enough to like just pull my fucking head out my ass and like get going again. What's the cue for you? What do you give yourself?
There's one that I can't really say on here. Yeah, DBS we use quite a lot. Don't be shit.
Yeah.
I've actually written it at the top of our whiteboard in the coaches room, just DBS.
Yeah.
So every day it's a little reminder, don't be shit.
Are you putting coaches through their DBS checks?
Yeah. It's just
Your DBS checks just come through.
Yeah. Shit.
You can't go any schools, not because you've got child-related offences, but because you're.
It's because you stopped at 4 rounds instead of 5.
Interesting.
Yeah, some other like quick things I've written. Nutrition. Do you eat like a child? How many people do you know where their diet is just like? Well, one thing that really annoys me is people that blame their kids for their diet.
Yeah.
I'm sure you might have had that with some online clients. I had that so many times. It's like, oh yeah, but I was getting the food ready for my kids, so I just ate what they ate. I'm like, you're a 36-year-old grown woman. Get a grip.
Yeah. You had a potato smiley for breakfast, and you're gonna go and go about your day.
And that's a mindset thing as well. Take accountability for your own actions and understand where that's going to take you. Yeah, I think you probably cover some of these key pillars in check-ins.
Yeah, that's something that we take a look at just as like a default setting. It's just to make sure, like, have you worked on your weaknesses this week? Have you like been fully attentive to like the program, and have you been trying to implement the cues that we've been speaking about? Things like that, which don't change check-in to check-in each week. And the people that do best are willing to review that every single week to try and get that totality of their.
What would you say the correlation is between the people that do their check-ins and the people that don't do their check-ins within their results with you?
Well, it's kind of their results are kind of a knock-on impact of their longevity and how long they're willing to apply themselves to the program or to the process. The people that are willing to do that very often stay on longer and therefore get better results purely as a byproduct of that. But then you've got like you can look into the minutiae of it a little bit more. The type of person that's willing to reflect is also the type of person that is willing to reflect on external points from someone else, from their coach, and think about what they're doing a little bit more when they do try to implement it. Like, I don't hold it against people, like if you can't do your check-in or whatever, but sometimes it's a pretty good idea. It's like a good habit to build if you want to build that self-reflection, so that you can be ready for Monday when that comes around, and be ready to implement both your own points and the points that I'm giving you to be able to be able to implement, execute, whether it is about certain movement or it's about your approach for your entire week.
Yeah. 100%. It's like when I was fully online, I would just be like, if you can't be fucked to spend time doing that for 5 minutes, 10 minutes out of your week, then how do you expect to attack any of the rest of what I'm asking you to do properly? Now I have a smaller group of online clients. I just don't send them a form. I just send them direct questions, like to the individual, because I have a smaller set of people. And very specific, like you said, have you implemented the cues? Yes. I'll say, for example, I have one client, she's improving her gymnastics. I'm like, did you look on the horizon for every single rep of your gymnastics session?
Yeah.
If not, why? And then their answer is either, I wasn't switched on enough, I didn't do this, but I can be a little bit more like specific now with that. I know you do like that check-in, you do also in the week and touch points quite a lot, don't you? So
yeah,
it's good to have that specificity when you're with the member as well.
It's also interesting to see who needs what as well. Some people don't need much communication in general at all, and even looking at it from my perspective, when I'm working with my coach, like, our communication is pretty limited, but that's because that works. And
and that's probably something that you discussed before you started, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I think like as people that still work in the online space now, but when we started, you kind of treat everyone the same, and then as you grow as a coach, when you onboard someone, you're like, what works for you? This is what I normally do. Tell me if that's going to be good. If not, there's no point wasting our energy on these things.
Yeah.
Like you said, if you've got someone, so like yourself, you're going to be the athlete that does everything the coach says. So there's no need for that. Like, oh, hey, Aaron, did you do your warm-up correctly today?
Yeah, that's
you know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you said, understanding what people need and what to give them is very important. So for people that are newer into the online space, it's definitely something that they can take from this pod and ask better questions when they're starting out with someone.
Yeah, and word of advice to online coaches coming through is tell your clients that you need 1 or 2 videos of everything they're doing, unless you specifically wanted to see every single set, because they will send every single set,
uncut.
every single session without fail.
Yeah.
And despite saying that, I still get that, which is always good to trawl through 50 videos of a
I love it.
one session.
30 seconds on the foam roller.
Yeah. Film your ice bath for me.
Oh dear. Yeah, anything else you want to touch on with those pillars? I've got like training, we haven't really touched loads on that, but obviously I've put like, is it right for you? ? So many people go down a rabbit hole that they have, what would the word be? They have no business really going down it, you know, like the prerequisites you need, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think that kind of goes for all of the points, to be fair. It's just about being willing to spend a bit of time thinking about what is right for you, and then you can dive into what you need to push. I know we talk about a lot of the time like a general attitude, like specifically with training can be really useful for certain things, but when it comes to like everything we're talking about here with these key pillars, think about what you're lacking, what you need to push, and how you're going to go about it, and just in a bit more of a systematic way, rather than perhaps seeing on Instagram someone else they wake up at 4:30 in the morning, drink 2 raw eggs and run 10k. It's like, yeah, but you're trying to, like, your goal is to back squat 120 kilos by the end of the year. It's like, you don't need to be doing that. You don't need to be doing X and Y if your goal is to get from A to B. So yeah, a bit of discretion sometimes, particularly with social media.
Yeah, I think those key pillars apply so differently to so many people, right? It's like you said, it's so goal dependent as well. You might have someone that, let's use Mason for example. He probably what time does he start work roughly? Is he an early riser or not?
Ish, I'd say 7:30.
Yeah, so for him training in the morning is probably not going to be the best idea.
No.
Optimally for him. He's got a partner, so he would probably want to work, train, the training stimulus to be enough for him to be home, have dinner with his missus, get on with the rest of his day. Get to sleep on time, something that you would look at. Sleep hygiene. How does he down-regulate? People that have a partner, maybe you want to watch TV together.
Maybe you don't.
Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to watch TV in the other room.
Maybe you want to go to the gym to avoid them.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Optimise for that as well.
We can optimise both ways. So that's like that coach-athlete relationship, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you want to be out the house early because your missus is going to ask you to put the bins out every morning, maybe training's better for you in the morning.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, joking aside, it's like, how can you optimise that individual's life around their training, their family, whatever it might be? If you've got like somebody, office job, they're sitting down all day, and then you give them foam rolling for 10 minutes and they're rolling their hamstring in the same position they've been sitting in all day, they've just wasted 10 minutes where they could be moving through a movement and just training. As soon as they get in the gym, just start training. Do you know what I mean? And eliminating all those barriers that if that person's mindset you're trying to work on and you're giving them stuff that's just the start of my session is slow, and then they get into it, first movement, crap, second movement, crap, third movement, just another day wasted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, how can you get that person a result as quick as possible by doing things properly and not just hammering them into the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some examples you might have of people where you've had to optimize their life around certain aspects?
I think it comes back to that kind of age-old thing of a bit of consistency as well when you look at lifestyle factors. Like, not to backtrack too much, but yeah, for someone that has a busy work day, like asking them to do too much in a different part of their day or flipping their schedule, or same applies for diet as well. Making too much of a drastic change too soon is going to be something that's not going to complement overall consistency. Then when you take a look into the details of things a little bit more, restructuring priorities, understanding, okay, you're good at this, we can take a back step on it, and we can put your efforts, your time, and your mental bandwidth into what you're not good at, and structuring a session to allow for that. What springs to mind is gymnastics. People perhaps not having the exposure to like developmental drills, skills, and things that they need to get their kind of goal movement. They might have been completely missing all of these things in the right dosage for a long period of time, because they think they need to just do X, Y, and Z every single time, because they might be a CrossFitter, or they might be a turf games athlete. They think they have to do these certain things because that is what they need to do. But yeah, restructuring priorities within their sessions a lot of the time to get them from where they want to be, A to B, and then utilising other things which complement maybe setup of the room, to also complement like their accessory stimulus. Like, again, sticking with gymnastics, something that springs to mind is someone wants to improve their handstand push-ups. They need exposure to the actual movement, like the scale variation, if that's what they're doing. Then they also need an accessible variation, which is going to allow them to accumulate sufficient volume to be able to progress. We might go from like an assisted strict handstand push-up with an ab mat, like reduced range of motion, to working off a box for like some higher volume sets in like a pike push-up variation. Setup is incredibly similar. It's really efficient to move from one to the other. It saves you walking across the room to start doing like a dumbbell Z press or something. And yeah, structuring the entire program with a similar thought process to allow them to get the most out of perhaps a smaller amount of time in the gym that they might have in compared to an ideal world.
I think it's so important. You'll see a lot of people just using ChatGPT now, which is also obviously a great tool to use for some things, but they'll just put in like bodybuilding program or whatever. That person is then spending like 90 minutes to 2 hours in the gym, like just doing straight sets, like, and they're obviously not showing them how to optimize their time in the gym. Someone who's like busy in and out, 45 minutes, supersets, maybe one straight set of one movement, like a back squat, where you have a focus on the strength stimulus at the beginning. That's more than enough for some people.
Yeah.
We're still in that kind of Goggins era, aren't we? Where people think that you should train every day. I'm like, when is your rest day? They're like, Thursday. I was like, did you rest completely? No, I did a 10K run. That's not fucking resting.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and people wonder why they're burnt out, or they're not getting as strong as they could be, not as fit as they could be. How many days do you rest to?
I have one complete rest day and then one reduced training day.
Yeah. So, and you're like prepping for an individual competition. Some of these people are just training, doing 2 classes a day, like every day and stuff like that. So like,
yeah, people ask me, like, they see me training hard and doing a lot, and they're like, oh, like, do you have a rest day? I'm like, fucking yes, obviously. I would be broken if I didn't have a rest day. And very often I'm like reducing my reduced training day some days because some weeks, because I'm feeling like super fatigued. So important.
These people are reaching like burnout and then they're having a week off.
Yeah, why? You could.
Why didn't you spread that across the 4 weeks previously and you'd probably feel all right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, resting into that recovery bucket, so important. Training, is it right for you? Nutrition, we all know that could be a podcast on its own, to be honest. But maybe we'll save that one for a guest.
Get a specialist in the building.
Yeah, someone that's not like me and going to tell you to not eat like a child.
Or maybe they will tell you to do that as well.
Yeah, maybe they do need to eat like a child.
Yeah.
For a bottle, because you've hit them.
We need to be bottle fed. There's plenty of people like that as well.
But yeah, mindset, so many things within that. Like you said, your discipline goes across all metrics.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts on key pillars that you would like to touch on?
I think we touched base on all of the key pillars that really make sense and have substance. Obviously, you can kind of go into as much detail as you want with any of those things, but
yeah, they're very broad, aren't they?
Yeah. For the case of the pod, I think that's nicely wrapped up. Although you mentioned about ChatGPT and the use of AI in fitness, I think it's potentially an interesting tangent to go down if we want to keep on the theme of tangents for this podcast.
Yeah, definitely. I think it can be used very positively.
Yeah. From like an informational standpoint, but just in the same way that you will notice errors in like something ChatGPT has written for you, which would mean that you'd never be able to utilize it word for word. It lacks nuance in the realm of coaching and movement and programming, in the same way that it lacks in the wording of some things as well. For example, I was talking to Tawny about like different legless rope climb techniques and how one ChatGPT was saying is more efficient than the other. But I was thinking about ChatGPT's definition of efficiency could be different to the definition of efficiency that we might think about in CrossFit, i.e. the difference in legless rope climbs of like keeping your legs underneath you and just kind of like bumping yourself up might be more efficient in the way of being more A to B. It's more as the crow flies up the rope. You're not moving out too far from the center line of your body. Therefore, in ChatGPT's opinion, you're using less energy. But the actual cost of that movement, to be able to have to go from a fully extended arm to a fully contracted arm on both arms every single time you touch the rope, might be considerably more from like an energy tax standpoint. The cost of that movement might be so much higher when compared to keeping long levers and like crawling your way up that rope with actually like a limited arm bend. Minimal. So you've got an isometric contraction compared to a concentric and arguably like an eccentric sometimes, as well. So there's nuances like that, which I think are going to be where coaches are going to be contesting ChatGPT.
Definitely, and like even as you as a coach, that more strict variation to the more CrossFit style one is very different, and you know the reasons for that. But also you as a coach, when you're looking at that athlete's workout within a competition, they might have that legless rope climb will be paired with something else within that workout. So it might even flip the other way. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're not too worried about the upper body stimulus, you might give her, we're going to go for a more bent arm pull. If the other movements within that workout are not centered around using your arms, but you want to save the lower body from not kicking up too much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that can't tell you that. Only you as the coach know that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Like a box jump overs. People say stay as low as you can, but if that box jump over in the workout's paired with something that's like eccentric, concentric, deep contraction all the time through your quads, you're probably going to want to jump on the box and always land a little bit higher as you transition over to save some of that. It can't teach you those tactics. Like your input's probably not, it's never going to give that out to you, is it? Like you as a coach can see that from your experience and expertise and give that as a cue to the athlete.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like the way ChatGPT works is from from my understanding anyway, is scraping all of the things that it can find on the internet about a certain topic and then piecing together an answer. And it's like, although there's a lot of stuff on the internet, how many people are writing about the feeling that you get when you do a certain movement a certain way and how it impacts on another movement in a workout, which is exactly the same as the one that you're asking ChatGPT about. It's like trying to make the stars align from
Which is
100 different things.
And that feeling is individual to you.
Yeah,
It's not like the same for everyone.
exactly.
That feeling will kick in, or that stimulus will kick in differently for the person depending on their level of fitness, their work capacity that they have.
Their anatomy in some cases.
Yeah. And even if you put in athlete has long femurs, like how long
Yeah,
compared to who?
exactly. Yeah.
Popping out stats about Peter Crouch with long legs.
And
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it will start asking you to do like low bar back squat box jump overs, because that's a low bar back squat. It might be slightly more appropriate for someone with long femurs, so it's going to try and apply it to that.
Yeah.
And then that's when you get to the points when, you know, things don't make sense, like obviously, you know,
Yeah.
but what about all the things that don't make sense?
And then you have
It's
someone
not
with
obvious.
long femurs that has a perfectly good squat because their range is
Yeah.
like great. So yeah, fuck. AI.
Put it in the bin, maybe.
It's a great tool to use, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's helped with a lot of stuff that I'm doing and building, just to bring loads of resources together, and then, like you said, be able to be critical and think about things.
One thing I think coaches specifically should stop doing is using ChatGPT for captions.
So it is so blatantly obvious.
Oh, I mean, like, I've done it. I've experimented with it, and I've just ended up changing like 80% of it at the end of the day. And then I go on Instagram and I see like the 3 emojis, like they might be the fire or the explosion emoji.
Yeah.
3 ways to improve your toes to bar technique, and it just could not be more. Could not be more ChatGPT.
Yeah.
If you tried.
Awesome. Should we wrap the pod up there?
Yeah, plenty of tangents. They're a nice little ADHD pod.
Yeah, I love it. Not sure which number this will be. But I'm sure you'll find out at some point.
It says it on the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to number, not sure.
Do we need to start saying click here to watch the next episode?
Yeah, probably. You can do that bit.
Click here to watch our next episode.
Thank you and goodbye.
The urge to say something like really controversial is massive. Stop the boats.